Hey everybody, welcome to another Sunday morning conversation. Today my guest is Blake Williams, and he runs one of the Velofix vans. He's mobile bike support, and he comes to you. I've never met anybody like him. This is going to be interesting. You got to watch this. Trust me. Thanks everybody. Another day in the life. Are you in the van now?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if you were going to be able to meet, so I actually went over to Cochrane Shoals to park the van since it was a beautiful day and work on my gravel bike for a second. So.
Oh, okay. So tell me, man, how does Velofix work for you? I mean, I have an idea how it works on the consumer end, but you're an actual business owner, or are you a licensee?
So it's a franchise. Hold on one second. How's it going, man?
You got any chunky grips on you?
I do.
You do?
At least I should. I just got some in the mail. Let's see. It looks like I put them all in our other van. I apologize.
No, actually, good time, man.
Yeah.
I'm off the shakedown. I just got this. I was thinking then, I'm like, damn, I missed my chunky. You put this.
Yeah. Here, put this in your pocket and just shoot me an email and I can bring them over to you. I garage the vans like a mile from here,
Okay.
so we can come deliver them for you if you want.
You guys just hang out here. Just kind of pull up.
I had the afternoon off. What's up, man? Had the afternoon off, so figured I'd work on my gravel bike for a second.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Definitely. What was your name?
Mark.
Mark. Nice to meet you, man.
What's your
Blake.
name? Blake?
Blake. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Blake.
Nice to meet you, man. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
Beach.
You're just slinging parts out the back.
Yeah, man. Trying to.
Is it normally like that wherever you go when you go to places like Cochrane Shoals?
Yeah, even when I park in a neighborhood for an appointment, that's where most of our business comes from, is just people see us out working and then they're like, oh, cool, that's a great idea. I want you to come over and tune up my bike. So, but yeah, you asked about the business. It's a franchise-based system. So I own the rights and the territory to Atlanta, and operate here independently, but under the branding. And technically we're I think right behind REI, the nation's largest bike shop, or I guess second largest behind REI, just because collectively we're considered one, but each are individually owned.
What does a franchise actually cost?
So it depends. I mean, there's multiple ways to do it. There's guys that go in as like an investor style and they'll drop a bunch of cash and jump in. And then there's guys like me who come in somewhere in between like bare minimum and investor style. And we are owner operators. So we own it, but then we actually do all the work as well. So it depends. I think minimum to get in the ballpark, you would need to drop 120 to 160. But I know guys who've launched and purchased 4 or 5 vans to launch, and that's quite a hefty investment.
So before you got into this, I'm guessing you worked at a local bike shop to kind of get a feel for the industry, or, for at least a few years?
Yeah, in college, I got cut from the cross country team and started gaining a lot of weight and got into triathlon. So realized I was pretty okay at it and wanted to take a swing at going pro. So I spent a few years working in the shop and doing coaching on the side. Grew a youth and junior team down in New Orleans for a few years. And just, it was kind of like a way to fund the habit. And then once I kind of started realizing like, hey, maybe I'm not going to make it, but I still love it, I went back to grad school, and through the process of interviewing with some corporate guys, I realized I didn't want to leave the bike industry.
So what is your master's in?
I chose to launch the business as opposed to finish it, but I was gonna finish. Oh man, I was on track for an MBA in comms and international relations. So I was kind of on the fence as to whether just finish with a standard MBA or finish all the specialties. But I was just gonna go into business. Get back up here. Come on.
Are you stuck with the student loans from it still? I got mine.
No, I worked most of my way through college, so fortunately, what I have left is very minimum. I could pay it off today, but they're not charging interest, so it's just kind of sitting there.
So, what kind of hours do you work on a regular day? Do you work 7 days a week? Like I know, like owning your own business, like it's not a 9-to-5 job. You work a shitload of hours. Is that how it is for you?
So, I mean, so if you're asking what days the van is available to be booked, that's a different answer than the one you asked. I mean, as a business owner, yeah, you're on 7 days a week, 24/7. It took a while for me to learn how to protect myself in that, how to push hard without necessarily killing myself, you know? So you got to grind if you're going to make it. But if you grind too hard, I mean, you'll burn out. So.
How long have you been at this with Velofix? A couple years?
Yeah, we just kicked off our 5th year in January.
What do you see for the future for Velofix?
So it kind of depends. There's a couple different directions. Our business is severely limited to how easily we're able to pick up new mechanics. So we can only grow as we get mechanics, just because we can only take a job if we have a van and mechanic available to go out to that job.
How many vans do you have?
We have 2 right now, and 2 full-time mechanics, including myself. And that's really just been our biggest struggle as a business, is getting qualified technicians. The bike industry kind of suffers from guys who work in the industry not really wanting to work.
Yeah, I was going to ask, for your mechanics, what's the pay comparable to like a brick and mortar bike store?
We definitely pay higher. I mean, I demand a little bit more out of our mechanics, because a mechanic at a typical shop is going to be really just in the back working on bikes, where my mechanics they have to do sales, they have to drive a vehicle, they have a little bit of marketing and kind of business development that needs to be in place, and account management, in that our business is severely, or really crucially, built on repeat customers. So we have a very high retention rate of customers. So I think the last time I checked, our average for everyone who's ever booked, they book on average 1.6 or 1.65 times a year. So the guys who come back and call us often. So that's there's more responsibilities. It's less mechanic work and more kind of like a mini general manager.
What do you use to figure out all the statistics?
We use a couple different software programs. We have like a plumber's routing software that we've reworked for the bike industry, kind of for our scheduling. And then we use Lightspeed for our point of sale and kind of deeper analytics.
Okay. Now, how has all the data and the analytics from that, how has that helped grow your business?
Great question. I'm a math guy. I love numbers. So I love digging into them. The biggest thing that it's helped in is really in guiding our routes that I set up. So how much availability I give to certain zip codes. So being able to quickly follow the trend. So if I'm getting a ton of bookings from Decatur, but I only have 1 day a week in Decatur, I can quickly on the fly change my availability so that I'm working 6 days a week in Decatur, you know?
So what kind of range does your van have? I'm not talking about fuel range, but like, do you go everywhere in the metro, all the way out to Cherokee to Stockbridge?
Yeah. So the territory we own essentially goes from Grant Park out to Stone Mountain, or just shy of it, up to Johns Creek, from there across to Kennesaw, and then back down to West Midtown. So more of the densely populated metro Atlanta areas. Now we'll travel outside upon request. Like we have a corporate contract with HG Supply, who's now owned by Home Depot, I believe. And we'll go, oh goodness, their warehouse is well south of 285, borderline Conyers. And we've done some gigs like out in Savannah before, and up real far north, like Cloudland Canyon area. But we have just like a day minimum that we ask for to be able to drive out of territory. So say if you lived in Stockbridge and you wanted to use our services, I would ask that either you had us out for like 2 overhauls and a tune-up, or got a couple of your buddies together and all of y'all signed up for tune-ups. Like we got some guys out in Lithonia, and they'll coordinate with each other, and we'll go out there and block off like a 6-hour time window, and I'll do 8 tune-ups right there.
So I guess a big question is, what are your fuel costs in your overhead? I mean, being you're always driving.
That's a great question. I just filled up, and for the first time ever, the fuel pump stopped because it hit the pre-approved limit on my credit card. Fuel costs were not bad pre the last 2 years. We've seen a steady rise in business costs with the new administration in office. It's taken a toll and hurts as a small business owner. So it's something we're having to deal with. We had to raise our prices at the beginning of the year to kind of help with that. I don't want to, I know our customers are hurting, so I don't want to raise our prices again. But I know some people who are adding like a gas tax onto each tune-up. We've so far have chosen not to do that. But if things continue, there's word of a diesel shortage going on right now. I mean, right now we're paying $5 a gallon, and I've seen it as high as $6.50.
So you run diesel? You run diesel then? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How hard has it been? Obviously, I'm assuming you have all the same problems that our local bike, well, not all the same problems as local bike store, but how hard has it been for you to get shifting components? I know that's been a topic of discussion because, they can't build new bikes because they don't have the components.
Yeah. It was really only a problem like for about 9 months last year. Things got better. I've stayed on top of the procurement process and kind of keep an ear to the ground. And when stuff comes in, I buy as much as I can. So we've done the best we can. We're severely low on 11-speed chains right now, but everyone and their mother is. But really, we haven't had much of an issue. It hasn't affected a customer yet. I take that back. There were probably 3 3 or 4 customers that were in desperate need of low end speed chains last year, and the only ones we could get were the ceramic speed UFO coated ones. So we had chains, but they were the $150 chain as opposed to your standard $40 chain. And we did our best not to, or actually we didn't raise prices on anything because of the shortage, where I know a lot of shops were, but we kept everything at standard margins.
So when you buy a stockpile of parts, where do you keep it?
We have a back stock. I have an office that's built out with one small desk and a ton of shelves and a bunch of bike racks. Some days it's clean and organized. Other days it's got bikes wall to wall. And then the vans are actually pretty spacious. So we have the extra long, extra tall Sprinter van. So most people are surprised about how much we can actually keep in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get you out on this question. What is what is your goal for like the next few years? What do you want to do with the company?
Yeah. So we hit profitability 2 years ago now. We want to get 2 vans up with full operating schedules. I think the vans are, last time I checked, are about like a 65% occupancy of the time that, so if we set up an 8-hour shift, 65% of that's being full. I would like to see both vans hit 100%. And start to work in a good like part-time kind of workload. So being able to get a good crew of like 1 or 2 part-time mechanics who want to work 2 to 3 days a week, start doing some split shifts, have 1 or 2 full-time guys, and do that. That's my next goal. Goal after that is to launch a 3rd and 4th van. In 5 years, let's see, that would take us, we expect to have 5 vans in Atlanta in 5 years from now. So we're at 2 now. So we'd like to see that. Our ultimate long-term goal is to have Atlanta rolling with, say, 4 to 6 vans, and then being able to start building a small presence in cities like Birmingham or Chattanooga or Savannah, or like a McDonough, Stockbridge, Peachtree City, that have people that ride, but maybe don't have enough dense population to support a Velofix on its own.
You know, I had one follow-up question to that. Now I'll get you out of
Yeah.
here. How competitive are you compared to the local bike stores?
So that's a great question. It's hard to answer. Most shops, and myself included, believe I offer a different service than they do, where you're going to be able to walk into that bike shop and look at inventory of bikes. We're a service-only shop. What we sell is convenience, and we pride ourselves on having the highest quality service that you can purchase here in Atlanta. So what you're going to get is the personal touch of the mechanic coming to your home, talking to you, walking you through everything on your bike, giving you kind of a service calendar, what to expect here coming up, that'll be needed on the bike, and then doing what is needed to get your bike operating perfectly the first time. So we don't do hack jobs or kind of things to get you rolling for cheaper. We do it right. We believe that everything we do is so let me back up. Everything we do is 100% satisfaction guarantee, and to ensure that everything is guaranteed and that you're going to be ultimately happy. Say your shifter is an old 105 10-speed shifter, and you're like, hey man, my shifting's not good. I look at her, I'm like, hey, this guy's not working because it's old. It's not had grease in it for 6-7 years. A couple of your pawls are about to break. I could with some penetrating lube and get you back on the road. And if that's what you want, I would prefer not to. What we're going to suggest and what we're going to try to walk you through the benefits of changing that shifter out would be to do the right thing the first time, get you into a new shifter, or walk you through what it would look like to maybe upgrade to 11 speed or something of that nature. We want our customers to be happy, and we believe that they're the happiest when they're out riding on a bike that's working well. So that's our goal.
Great, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you giving some time. I hope you enjoy your gravel bike.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you giving us a shout. How'd you find our information?
I followed you on Instagram, but I first heard about you from Marcos Borges.
Okay. Yeah. Marcus is a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. What part of town are you in?
Vinings.
Vinings? Okay, cool. Right down the road. I garage the vans like off Acres Mill. So nice, man.
Yep. Thanks again, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Have a good one.